So welcome to Strange Paths, a podcast where we read Choose Your Own Adventure style stories. We're your hosts. I'm Paul.
I'm 70.
Megan. And I'm pissed.
Oh.
What are you pissed about, Megan?
Because this week, it's Paul's story. And you get to do all the talking.
Damn it.
That's
I
a
hate
fair
your
point.
voice.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That makes three of us. So, in any case, I do have some slightly good news on that. I am going to be reading the story, but this is a story that I found.
In a shell?
No.
In a bottle?
In a bin.
In
In a mouse?
In a bin.
What?
B-I-N.
Like a trash can, but
Yes.
British?
Why are you
Right.
saying a bin?
Just seemed to fit.
Throw it in the bin. Fuck that story. It's terrible.
Well, I can't tell, but I think it may be a rough draft to a different story.
Okay. So you're going to read a rough draft that you found in a trash can.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes. Scrawled at the top was what I think is the title. It's called Diary of a Perfect Murder.
There has been a murder. I can't wait. I love perfect stuff.
All right, you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Trash
We don't have
story.
a choice.
Trash story.
Yeah.
That's what it's actually called.
Okay.
Did it have ham juice on it?
A little bit.
Ew.
That's like a seal of authenticity.
Did you wring it out into a cup?
You better suck that ham juice off.
Don't waste it!
That is a great out of context quote. Anyway. So, starting our story. It's the near future. Not so near that everything is the same. No, it's just far enough away that the fantastical events you're about to hear seem somewhat plausible, inevitable even. Sky razors threaten to overtake the sky and fill the former suburban streets of Big City 3, which sits between Big City 2 and Big City 5.
Wait, where's 4? And also sky razors?
Yes.
Like
Raise the roof.
or like
People celebrate.
cutting razors.
Like raise the roof.
Aw, okay. I like that. I don't know why that's cute, but it is.
Where's Big City 4, you ask?
I did ask that!
Big City 4 was incinerated in the Klondike Bar Wars, thanks to some clever marketing and a newly passed amendment applying a 30-second waiting period for the sale of all assault and battery rifles. Ashes and wrappers are all that remain along the borders.
Klondike bar rapper.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what would you do for one, you know?
Right.
Like, that's...
I was thinking about musical rappers because I'm real spaced out right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Big City 3, known as the Worm City due to its vast protein farms, has been your home for as long as you can remember. Due to tragic reasons too terrible to mention here, your parents died when you were very young.
Are you telling me that you think that this is a draft for Blade Runner 2049? Is that what's
I don't know. We'll have to keep reading.
Paul's obsessed with worms.
Yeah.
He needs help.
Due to tragic reasons too terrible to mention here, your parents died when you were very young, leaving you in the care of your alcoholic aunt and her abusive boyfriend, Henry. Henry beats you regularly, often taking the credits you've earned from worm splitting after school so he can buy boxes of synthahol to keep your aunt good and toasted.
Oh, Henry sounds hot. Yeah. Is he hot? How hot
Does he look like Henry Rollins?
Just like
Which
him.
Henry? Wait, that one or a different
Yeah,
one?
Rollins.
Oh.
You wish you could fight back, but Henry also takes the lion's share of protein bars provided by the weekly air drones, leaving you meager scraps to subsist off of and not nearly enough to actually gain some muscle.
Classic.
At night, you often dream of purchasing a cooking oil-powered exoskeleton to show Henry who's boss, but by the next morning, you know it's all just a pipe dream to get through the day. For the foreseeable future, you'll likely resemble a stick figure to those around you.
Aww.
After another such beating, you wipe away the small trickle of blood from your chin using the dishcloth usually reserved for bathing and head to your room. Well, room might be too strong of a word since it's more of an uninsulated crawl space between or underneath the dilapidated housing unit given to your aunt for taking in a ward of the state.
Wait, no, now I know. This is a whatever the fuck it's called. What's it called? A draft for for that book you really like.
Oh, okay.
What's that called?
Let's
oh my
see.
god, my brain sucks right now. Hey, it's like that thing that's like named whatever. What's that book called?
I don't know. After pulling your cellophane bed wrap over your shoulders for warmth, you take a moment to carefully put on your gamma goggles. Once they are secure, you thankfully manage to pop in the attached earbuds just before Henry finds your aunt to celebrate how much money he brought in by doing a double shift.
What bang?
The gamma goggles, known as GGs, are your one escape in this hellish life. With them, you have access to Haven. Haven is the virtual world created by the affable but reclusive genius known only by his online avatar, Jig Jug.
I hate you. What is that story called?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. That book. What is it called?
Well, let's see if
She's having a meltdown.
let's see if the rest of it jogs your memory. In Haven, Jig Jug poured his genius into creating a space where everyone was on an even playing field. Most public social services were moved to this virtual world, so you attend school, send frantic calls to a social worker, watch videos to better your worm splitting technique, watch older workout videos where the women all wore spandex, grind games to gain new outfits for your virtual avatar, and anything else you can think of to occupy your waking hours.
Snow Crash? Oh, damn it.
No, I have to know. I have to know.
It's Ready Player One.
Thank you.
Leave this in. Leave this in.
Have you read that? Ready Player One?
Mm-mm.
Your favorite thing to do in Haven, however, is to watch reruns of your most beloved television show that aired in the mid-'80s to early 90s. You weren't born when the show originally aired, but discovered it in the recommended video section while watching a tutorial on how to best cover facial bruises. Nearly days later, you had found your muse in the TV series Matlock, the lovable curmudgeon lawyer. At this point, you have watched all 194 episodes several times over, and often find yourself mumbling in unison over the dialogue of the titular character.
This is straight from Paul's life. He actually loves Matlock. Fun fact of the week.
However, as you start to watch your favorite episode where you learn the origin of Matlock's love of hot dogs, you feel a thud come from the hallway above the entrance to your crawl space.
Is that an actual episode?
At the same time, an urgent message has popped up in the corner of your view screen. Turning up the volume, you try not to think about how your aunt and Henry have chosen to celebrate tonight. Then another thud occurs. This time, dust shakes from between the slats of the floor above you, threatening to cover you in a thin gray coat of filth. Should you leave the crawl space to investigate? Henry does have a pretty strict no orphans after dark policy that you've avoided after he destroyed your first set of GGs. However, Henry also has never shown the physical prowess and stamina required to shake the entire house. If you decide to investigate, turn to page 4. Otherwise, turn to page 3.
I mean, I kind of like when dust shakes all over me. So I'm inclined to stay where I am. But, Megan, what do you think?
I gotta go see.
Well, I guess we'll have to rock, paper, scissors for it because I am lethargic.
All right.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Paper!
Scissors!
All right, so we're investigating. The dust starts pouring from the floorboards in sheets as the rumbling of the house continues. This definitely isn't just from Henry's thrusting.
Ugh.
You start to peel off the gamma goggles when the virtual interface you have been streaming shortly before has been replaced with a red warning message. It must be the haptic feature update rumored to have been included in the reboot last night. All but confirming your immediate peril, you let the goggles slide down, coming to rest around your neck as you scramble for the latch leading to the hallway of the house. You push on the hatch release. Nothing happens.
Trapped. Like a worm.
With all of your might you can muster from your scrawny, pasty body, you push against the crawl space door. Your thin, ropey muscles tense, and your vision starts to become blurry from the sheer effort before you fall back to your knees. Something must have fallen on the door. Something must have fallen on the door, you say aloud to yourself. Scanning your surroundings, you remember last summer when Henry had locked you in the crawl space for several weeks, only opening the hatch to throw down scraps of food and dehydrated water packs. During that time, you found out rats had also been stealing your scraps by sliding between a loose board near the front of the house. You push yourself toward the front of the house, feeling your hands and knees squish against questionable substances and getting your clothes snagged in several spots. In moments, you're at the front and manage to peel back the loose board just enough to squeeze out into fresh air.
Oh, just like the rats.
The rumbling continues, and you realize that the house's foundation is being affected. You walk within sight of the front door, and you see your aunt and Henry within the main hall leading to the front of the house. Suddenly, they disappear as a sinkhole opens beneath the house, swallowing everything almost instantaneously. The opening of the new chasm sits just a few feet in front of where you stand. As your mind wanders as to what you should do next, your hand instinctively goes for the gamma goggles, still resting around your neck. The red alert message still occupies the entirety of the viewport. Taking a few steps further away from the sinkhole, you put the GGs back on and put them back on and try to recalibrate to turn off the haptic feedback warning, but nothing happens. It is only then that you realize this is an entirely different kind of alert. Continue on page 5.
Wait, is that a choice?
No.
Do we have to?
Man, I'm scared, so I think I'm good.
Resituating the GGs, you pull up the alert system message. Instead of the usual text, this alert seems to be a video message. Launching the video, your screen goes black for a few moments before the white silhouette of the left half of a face appears on the screen. It's Jig Jug's avatar. Robotic in tone, Jig Jug begins to speak.
Inhabitants of Haven,
No!
if you are seeing this message, it means that I have passed on.
I can't understand you, Jig Jug.
As the sole creator,
It's so scary. It's so scary.
I hate it when you talk like this. I hate
Do
it.
this.
and owner of Haven,
We can't understand you, Jig Jug.
All right, fine. I'll read it anyway.
I hate it when you talk like that.
I'm leaving if it happens again. It's too scary.
Inhabitants of Haven, if you are seeing this message, it means that I have passed on. As the sole creator and owner of Haven, I thought it would be amusing to throw the world's economy into shambles by having a scavenger hunt based on the things I like to act as the mechanism by which my successor will be chosen. Yes, whoever should figure out my cryptic puzzle will be able to do whatever they want with Haven, regardless of the consequences to the rest of you. I'm sure that will go well. The audio ends as Jig Jug finishes his speech. The silhouette of the avatar fades from the screen, and you have a new message notification. The subject simply reads, Clue 1. You feel your heart begin to race as you open the message and read the one line of text. 3 crowns for the victor, but where does their maker lie? Well, that's about as cryptic as it could get, you say aloud before falling back onto what's left of the lawn. You try to empty your mind in the hopes that the answer will just magically come to you based on stuff you already like, but it's just not happening immediately. Maybe a change of scenery would help. Your friend, you, from school might be able to help out, but he might also be unwilling to share information if he's trying to get Haven for himself. Maybe you should go to one of the worm farms instead. The gentle sound of their wriggling in the water traps is always pretty calming. If you decide to see you, turn to page 6. If you decide to go on to one of the worm farms, turn to page 7.
Worms.
Worms. I like him, I got him.
I gotta hear that wriggle. Can you make the sound?
No!
No, shut it down.
That's not what worms do.
It's not soothing.
Yeah, but I just like to imagine just like fields of worms making that sound.
Ah, bliss.
All right. You's probably too busy.
You probably.
You should really just head to the worm farm and try to approach this clue with a clear mind. I'm sorry. I'm going to read that over.
Why?
All right. You should really just head to the worm farm and try to approach this clue with a clear mind. Tucking your GGs into your hoodie pocket, you make the trek to the station at the worm farm. Upon arriving, you see the place is practically empty. The farm itself is almost never empty, but with the news of Haven going around, you aren't terribly surprised. Finding a seat near one of the skimmers that gathers the worms near the top, you try to think about the clue. Again, nothing immediately comes to you. Instead, your eyes lose focus as you stare at the myriad patterns formed by the worms as they wriggle in the vats. Although moving around at random, the worms generally form a soothing beige pattern along the surface of the vat, resembling cirrocumulus clouds. They remind you of the same patterns in Matlock's signature seersucker suits, bunched together in some places and loose in others. The coloring is a more pale gray, though, like one of Matlock's cars, the Crown Victoria. You remember the feeling of pride you had when you were correctly able to outwit one of the other Matlock Forum members, Gudgegidge, by proving that Matlock had 3 Crown Victorias over the course of the show, not 4. Wait,
Wow.
that's it.
Showed him.
The 3 crowns and the Crown Vic. Maybe Jig Jug was referring to Matlock. Could he have also been a fan of the show? You recite the clue aloud to yourself again. 3 crowns for the victor, but where does their maker lie? Straining yourself, you recall that the Crown Victoria was made by the car company Ford. You pull out your GGs and fire up Haven to search for Ford's manufacturing plant. The answer comes quickly since it was the last building to be torn down in Big City 4. You use Haven's map system to triangulate its last known location and submit it to Jig Jug's clue center. After a few moments of tense waiting, your answer and avatar are displayed across Haven's networks as the solver of the first clue.
That's so intimidating. I don't like that. That's scary. Everybody knows.
The second clue is broadcast shortly afterwards. Andy Griffith was only blank years old when he first started playing as Matlock. God, what could it mean? You feel worry as you know that the next steps ride on your shoulders. Haven is on the line after all. It's just then that your gamma goggles are interrupted with a priority message from the creator of your brand of GGs. Hello, this is Diablo McSatan, the creator of your brand of GGs. I've come to give you an offer. We had over 1,400 cryptographers working all through the night to try and solve the first clue. None of them came close. The second clue, though, we've doubled our resources, but I'm not holding my breath.
Oh my god.
In fact, I wanted to give you a chance to work with us. I will sign over the salary of these 2,800 employees to you for the rest of your life
Oh my god.
if you provide us with an answer to this puzzle. You will never have to work another day in your life.
How old was he? Is the puzzle? What?
Any children you have will never have to work a day in their life. What do you think? You mull over the options. Should you take Diablo McSatan's offer to try to find the clue, giving GG's creators sole control of Haven? If you decide to work with McSatan, turn to page 9. Otherwise, turn to page 10.
I feel like even if we did work with him, they're not going to be able to get the next one. I do like money, but I also like pride.
I have a major crush on McSatan, though.
Yeah,
I
he
kinda
does
wanna
sound
work.
hot.
Yeah.
Red hot. Am I right?
Almost as hot as Matlock.
Hot diggity. I mean, WWMD, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who wouldn't do Matlock?
That's not the letters. What would Matlock do?
DM, sorry. That's what I'm used to saying.
Who wouldn't do Matlock?
So what do you want to do? Do we have to rock, paper, scissors again?
Well,
Because
while you guys are trying to decide, we've just received yet another sponsor.
Just now.
what?
Is
Man.
it Big Egg?
Oh, was it?
When
Big
are we
Egg?
going to land Big Egg?
I mean, I don't know. I hope one day. I don't know if it's today, though. They just sent over something I think they'd like us to read,
Oh
though.
my god, I'm so excited.
Whoa, dude. Those whack earrings are awesome sauce.
Actually, they're the newest craze. Lychees! The hypoallergenic earrings that also happen to be leeches.
Dang! Doesn't that hurt?
Not at all. And they definitely don't tell me what to do or how to act around other squishy, meaty blood bags.
Sounds great. Where can I get a pair of my own?
Actually, they're free. That is, if you know where to look. Try your local swamp or pond today and get a pair of leechies. With leechies, you'll be ready to tackle problems head on. I just couldn't. Just remember, don't pinch them in the middle when you take them off, or else you might make a mess. Oh, who am I kidding? You'll never want to take them off.
I'll head to the swamp right now and get some lychees of my own.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Thanks, leechies. Thanks, leechies.
Oh, maybe that would help me out because I think we're all pretty tired right now. We could use a boost from leechies.
Yeah, I need a quick bloodletting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. I can't believe it.
How did we get sponsored by leechies? Like,
I don't know.
how did they hear about us?
Feel like just the next
Something.
logical step is Big Egg. We're
Hopefully
here,
so.
Big Egg.
Please,
Hopefully so.
please, God, big egg.
All right.
Hopefully they'll remember our anniversary. Maybe they'll sponsor us for our anniversary episode.
I mean, it would be nice. Yeah. So,
Upset.
back to Diablo
But
McSatan.
thank you, leechies. We love you. Also,
Yes.
it's not just because you're not big egg, you know.
Right.
We love you and we're in love with you.
Yes. But anyway, what were we choosing?
Oh,
Whether or not you wanted to help Diablo McSatan.
I wanna.
Yeah.
I wanna get with Satan. All this
Yeah.
talk about blood has made me like lustful for Satan.
okay, good.
Okay. Very good, McSatan responds. I hope to hear back from you soon. And with that, your connection is severed. You fall back against the wall of the worm farm and let your mind wander to try to figure out this killer clue. After a few hours of watching Matlock following giving up on the clue within the first 5 minutes, you start to feel more relaxed. You pull up Matlock's files, the forum you run, and start to create a new entry regarding the good and bad of Matlock's eventually switch from a whodunit style format to How Catch 'em.
Oh my God, Paul.
As you fill out the pages, you note that Matlock only started as a 58-year-old lawyer, which gave him a lot of time to mature into the role.
Bingo!
That's it, you yell aloud, causing the worms to wriggle.
Oh.
You send off the message to Diablo and receive a confirmation in your bank account. McSatan was right. You'll never have to work another day in your life. A few moments later, your GGs turn off of their own accord. You try to get them to turn back on, but nothing happens. Later, you manage to reset the goggles, but eventually find that you're no longer able to log into Haven. You travel to one of the international customer service centers, but none of your credentials seem to work. You can no longer access Haven, as it seems you never had an account. The end.
Well, good. Then we can
What?
make a new account.
Does this mean
Don't
we're not
shrug.
rich?
Right.
We're not rich.
I gotta be
Diablo.
rich. How am I supposed to afford lychees and eggs?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Our luxuries. I'm so mad at McSatan, but also I'm like, he just wants me to come visit.
We didn't even get to touch each other.
I know.
I want to get my fingers burned off by his hot, hot skin.
And hard tummy.
So, yep, you guys have like 3 different choices, I think, you can
Oh my
go
God.
back to. So you can either choose to side with McSatan, you can
Well, we didn't.
stay in the... Or, I'm sorry, you can choose to not side with McSatan.
Yeah, do it WWMD.
You could stay in the crawl space,
Mm-hmm.
and you could go see your best friend, you.
Fuck you.
I guess we should just not do what McSatan wants.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm so mad.
I'm so mad at him, but also like still so in love.
Yeah.
All right, so rejecting Diablo McSatan.
For now.
Thinking of how Matlock would handle the situation, you respond. Jackass, you yell before cutting the feed short. However, you find that as soon as you cut the feed, your avatar is transported to a giant virtual arena. The arena is filled with a couple of thousands of bots. The bots all carry bots, B-O-T-S.
Bats?
Can they be bats?
They could be bat bots. How about that?
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
All right. The bat bots all carry the insignia of the company that created Gamma Goggles. Across from you stands Diablo McSatan. Listen, you little shit. If it were up to me, I'd force you to help us find the second clue.
So forceful, so powerful.
But our terms of service is very specific in how we are to handle any user disagreements. You are allowed to request virtual combat in the form of your choice to dispute our requests of your services. You think for a few moments before announcing your decision. I choose combat by mechs.
Oh.
Very well, McSatan says coolly, before pressing an icon that appears a couple of feet in front of his face. Once pressing the button, his avatar transforms into a many-story-tall giant robot, complete...
But what does he look like regularly?
Yeah.
His avatar?
No,
What's he
what does
wearing?
What's he look like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to, find out.
How am I supposed to find out if you don't tell me?
I'm ready now.
We want to know.
All right. His avatar transforms into a many-story-tall giant robot, complete with buzzsaw arms, flamethrowers mounted on each shoulder, and a Gatling gun tastefully placed between the legs of the mechanical monstrosity.
Oh.
Wait, are we gonna? Oh, that's hot. Are we gonna turn into a wedge robot?
I don't know.
That's the one that always wins.
In BattleBots, yes.
Did I guess it?
Without hesitation, you pull up the mech schematics you've been working on in your spare time for the last couple of years. As the finishing touch, you put in a voice command to initialize the new mech design. Mecha Matlock, activate!
He's gonna have so much like common sense and lawyerly, like, you know.
With that, your avatar is
Stuff.
with that, your avatar is transformed into a 100-foot mechanical representation of the lawyer Matlock, complete with seersucker suit. The crowd in the arena cheers. McSatan's mechano avatar steps forward to start the fight. The Gatling crotch gun fires, tearing through your avatar's torso. The flamethrowers peel back the paint of the mecha Matlock, and the buzzsaw arms remove all extremities from your mechanical masterpiece.
What the fuck?
Your Matlock torso lies on the ground, and McSatan's mech stands over you.
Oh.
I could have given you everything you ever wanted. Money, power,
Love.
people. You threw it all away and bet it on an obsession that doesn't mean nearly as much to anyone else. An obsession that probably won't age well. Any last words? Matlock never had a problem working pro bono, so neither do I. As you finish your sentence, you send off your answer for the second Haven clue that you realize you knew the answer to the whole time because you're the protagonist of this story. You receive the confirmation shortly afterwards. McSatan brings the blade of one of his avatar's arms down upon the head of Mecha Matlock, but no damage is done. You have control of Haven now.
Wait, you won? There was only 2 questions?
With a few presses of the same button, Mecha Matlock regenerates its arms and legs. Standing up, you brush the digital dust off the seersucker chassis before punching a hole straight through McSatan's avatar, which explodes in that weird digital way.
Yeah.
The crowd falls silent for several dramatic seconds before erupting in cheer. You've just defeated the digital representation of a person. The actual Diablo McSatan, a straight-laced businessman, slams his fists on his desk in Big City 1. You now control the world's economy. Your will is the way of the future. You'll never have to work another day in your life. Your aunt is still dead. The end.
Yay!
Wow, I can't believe it.
I'm
we
sad
could-
because I was in love and now I'm upset and we're probably not going to get to go on any dates or do anything.
Yeah,
No bases touched.
He's not gonna want to date us anymore.
Probably not.
Although he is all about the Benjamins, so maybe he will want to date us.
Yeah, maybe.
We can buy him.
We can take him on a date to the leech, worm place.
Yeah, and maybe we'll find some lychees there,
All right.
and we can have him on a chain and put him in a metal bikini.
Break it through a worm. I'm sorry.
That's good.
Through a worm.
He felt so warm on the sidewalk and he like tossed it over his head.
Like confetti.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a celebration.
So if you guys want, you can go back, and there are two choices you didn't get to see.
Okay.
And that was going to see your best friend, you, or staying under the house.
I think you.
For those of you at home, Steph nodded her head in agreement.
Now she's hitting herself in the face and she can't stop. Why is she doing it?
All right. So this was whenever you found whenever the first clue was announced, and you had the option to either go to the worm farm and think it over, or try to talk to your best friend, you.
Yeah. Super best friend wasn't even there whenever I won and everything and got a date.
All right. Checking on Yu's notifications through the chat, you see his current status is listed as shaving the Grand Mannion.
Ew.
After waiting for his status to change to available.
What?
What?
What does that mean?
It's a Grand Mannion.
Yeah.
So he's saying he's a dude, so he has a dick, but it's a canyon.
He's just shaving his privates.
Yeah, but that's not a canyon. The Grand Canyon is not.
Is it inverted?
Maybe he has a humongous ass.
Is he okay?
That's really
Oh,
hairy.
oh my god. All right. There it is.
All right.
How long
Anyway.
does it take
Maybe
to shave?
Maybe he's just got ripped up abs and he's
Yeah.
shaving, that line.
The ab holes.
Yeah, all the ab crevices. Crevices.
The abscesses.
Yes. That's hot.
After waiting for his status to change to available, you video call him using the GGs. Haven displays your avatar talking to yous, since you don't have a virtual reality camera set, unlike you. You is a good friend, though, and has never once bragged about his setup or mentioned that you only ever appear as your avatar. In many ways, he is your oldest and bestest friend.
Oh, bestest friend. That's cute.
Hey, you say. Hey, new GGs, who's this? You respond. It's me, you say with a chuckle. After all, you tends to be a joker. Oh God, you again? Look, for the last time, stop contacting me. It's sad. I don't care about your terrible life with your aunt and whatever D-bag she's screwing this week. I just felt sorry for you that one time because you wouldn't stop crying about how you would never be able to meet anyone half as understand as Charlene Matlock. Even then, I only kept talking to you because it got me more subscribers on my live stream when I showed them the videos afterwards. With that, the video cuts out. You, what a jokester, you say to yourself. Well, it looks like you is busy now anyways. Maybe it would be better to try the worm farm?
Classic you.
Yep, always joking around with us.
He's
We'll
a
catch him
silly,
later.
silly
Yeah.
boy.
So last choice would be staying under the house.
Yeah, I like that. I want to finish where I'm most comfortable. Covered in dirt underneath the house.
All right. Last time you left the crawl space just before sunrise, Henry made sure you limped for a month. Maybe it would be best just to wait and see what happens. You try to take your mind off the noise as the house continues to shudder, but it only gets worse and worse, threatening to force you to deal with the world outside of Haven in a way you haven't had to do since that time your aunt found out you had been spending credits on that dating simulator featuring a recreation of Matlock's daughter, actress Linda Pearl. You push the earbuds deeper into your ears and curl up into a fetal position. Using Haven's web interface, you pull up OmniTube and watch several videos at once to try to overload your senses from the outside world. It works for a time at least. Then, right as you start to allow yourself to relax into the cacophony of noise and light, a sharp pain hits you in the legs. Taking off the goggles, you find that the house is split. Sections of the floor above you have shattered and pinned your legs to the earth beneath you. You cry out in pain for help, but no one answers. You try to use your goggles to see if you can send out a distress call, but before you get a chance to send off your message, another shuttle ripples through the house, causing it to collapse on top of you. Using the money from a life insurance policy set in your name, your aunt and Henry are able to move to Big City 2. There, your aunt manages to become sober, kicks Henry out, and finds a new lease on life that is ultimately more fulfilling and meaningful. The end.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah.
We're dead.
Good ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
So
we
I
can be with
wonder-
the worms forever.
Aww. Will they make that sound for us?
Do they look like Matlock?
Oh,
Probably.
little seersucker outfits on them.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that's that story I found.
Wow,
That-
God.
I mean, it might loosely be based on that hit story that Steven Spielberg's making a movie about. They just seem so similar to me.
I don't know. Though.
I think he should have stuck with this one, though.
Yeah, this one's way better.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody loves Matlock.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody likes the 80s. So.
Right. Or like, I just think that maybe he decided that this was too relatable.
Yeah.
He's like, they're going to think the story is about them. It's not. It's about me.
Exactly. He's like, this clearly needs more of a, I am self-inserting myself into this story.
Yeah.
And also I need to add in a woman love interest that would make no sense in the real world.
Like Miss
What?
Matlock? Oh, no, not like Miss Matlock.
Not like Miss Matlock.
Well, I feel sadness because I'll never have Diablo as my boyfriend.
Yeah. That's the prime takeaway.
Yeah,
But at least he got lychees,
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least we landed lychees. Well, thank you for reading that trash you found and
Yeah.
decided to bring to our really, super important podcast, Paul.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it was less work for me.
I don't give a fuck about anything.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. Either way.
Yeah. Too bad you didn't write it, because then we would have said it was a really good story.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not. It's awful
It's not,
and I hate
right?
it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's my favorite story that's ever been read by you. So
Yeah, that would make sense.
way better than anything you've actually written.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't write it.
Yep.
So it's too bad.
All right.
What are you doing rifling through the trash, by the way?
Oh, he
In
always
England.
says it.
Or
So,
whatever.
if you want to know why I'm rifling through the bin, you can send us an email
Why are you rifling through the bin?
at strangepathspodcast@gmail.com.
I'm so sorry, everyone who's in England.
You can also tweet apologies, or you can see Steph's apology
Yeah, I'll tweet
on
him.
Twitter
I'll tweet him
at where?
at Strange Path Pod on Twitter, of course.
Nice.
Or you can send me photos of stuff you put in the trash that you don't want anyone to see at bozosglowglobes@gmail.com.
Oh, but what if they have pics of themselves getting lychees, acquiring lychees?
Well, just
Where should they send those?
send that to all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all want to see that.
Yeah, it's all three.
Yeah.
Email them, tweet them at us.
I want the nude ones.
Yes, and Megan the nudes, the ones that went to somewhere unfortunate.
Make ASCII art of them and put them as iTunes reviews.
Yes, with a 5-star rating.
Right. In any case,
Anyway,
thank you guys for listening.
bye.
Catch you next time.